All right, guys, so we got to talk about a fascinating story out of Bedford County, Virginia, about a high school student who is leaving school because the school will not allow him to fly the American flag on the back of his truck, or at the very least, not fly it at the size that he is flying the flag on the back of his truck. So now they have demanded that he remove the flags from his truck, and he basically decided that he will leave the school and be homeschooled instead of removing the flags. And I want to talk about it, but before we get in that, we have to have a word from the sponsor of this video, Noble Gold. The US dollar has lost 85% of its value since the 70s, when the dollar was decoupled from gold, and the government seems bent on continuing that tradition. From now and up until the next election, the government has free reign to print as much money as they want. And the last time that this happened, everybody knows, everybody remembers, inflation went up 9%. This means one thing: the security of your future and your family's future is all in your hands. Make sure you freeze the value of the wealth you're holding. Invest in gold with Noble Gold Investments. Gold is the one asset that is proven to withstand recession, inflation, and just about all economic threats. Noble Gold is here to help you if you want to invest in gold. You will also get a 24 karat, 1/4 ounce gold standard coin for free. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 877-646-5347 to get started, or go to noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. And just remember, there's a risk with every investment, and there's no guarantee of any kind.
Christopher Hartless says he is just exercising his First Amendment rights by flying this flag.
My family fought for America, and I feel like I should be able to represent the flags that they fought for.
His stepmom, Christina Kingery, says last Wednesday, Hartless went to school with the flags mounted on his truck. School administration told him he needed to take them down because it was a distraction.
I don't understand how it's distraction if they have one on the flagpole that every other student can see.
Hartless refused to take the flags down.
Like I told my son, is if this is what he's believing in, me and his dad are both going to stand behind him all the way till the end of it.
About 10 minutes into first period today, Hartless says he was told he needed to take them down again. The school also revoked his parking pass. Kingery doesn't want him to have to ride the bus, so they're going to homeschool him.
Or if they're willing to change and let kids want to fly the American flag, then I'll put him back in Stanton River. But until then, he possibly put him back in Stanton River. But if they don't, then I'm going to continue to let him fly his flags.
I reached out to the school system asking for an interview, but I was told no one was available. The high school sent out a clarification statement over the weekend to parents that says the student parking contract states, quote, large flags or banners are not allowed to be flown or displayed on vehicles due to their distractive nature. The statement also read, quote, please be assured that we proudly fly the American flag throughout the school.
I think that every student, doesn't matter what you believe in, what flag you fly, as long as it's not harmful and it doesn't disgrace our country, you have the right to fly it.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Now, in an interesting turn of events to save face, because this looks pretty bad on the school, to basically ban this man from flying flags on his truck. Okay, now the flag doesn't look that large. I mean, it looks large enough for his truck. Okay, it's not obnoxiously large. The school has actually decided to try to save face by having a fundraiser for kids to be able to fly American flags on their vehicles. However, there is a catch. Take a look.
Thanks for joining us. Tonight, a win for students in Bedford County. The school district says certain American flags on vehicles are okay, and they want to help kids get them.
Controversy erupted after a student from Stanton River High School was told he couldn't fly his flags on his truck. Christopher Hartless told ABC 13 yesterday that the school told him to ditch his flags or he'd lose his parking pass. According to the rules, the flags were too big and caused a distraction. He refused, so his parents pulled him out of school. Today, the district announced that it's partnering with several local patriotic businesses to provide students with free American flags that are the appropriate size for vehicles. But Hartless says not so fast.
When they put on the website or whatever that the school is going to do something for the flags on people's vehicles, they're going to put buy flags for people's vehicles of their choice, not what of the students' choice that they want to put on their vehicle.
The school district says it will notify students who want those American car flags or decals when they're available for pickup free of charge.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Okay, so the school is basically saying, look, our policy is that you can fly the flag, you just can't fly it larger than what we allow. And they are essentially having a fundraiser to help students get and obtain American flags to fly on their vehicles as a way to save face from the backlash of essentially banning this student from being able to fly his flag on his truck, presumably because it's too large. Not because it's the American flag, but because it's too large. Okay, this is how they're trying to save face, because it seems like a very unpatriotic thing to do, which is to ban a student from being able to fly the American flag on the back of the truck. Now, we know that if it was a woke flag, that this school would be totally fine with it. It doesn't matter how big it is. They are not going to mess around with it, okay? Because they know the type of backlash that comes from that, right? Again, it's just kind of funny how that works. But yeah, when I first heard this story and the way it was framed, they made it seem like students weren't able to fly flags at all, which I think is clearly, obviously, a violation of the First Amendment, because his freedom of speech does not stop at the school gate. However, I mean, I definitely think that there has to be a limit to how big the flag can be, because at some point it can be so big that it can become a hazard. Okay, I'm more concerned about it being a hazard than a distraction. So I think that there definitely should be limits on how big that it can be. But I mean, looking at the flag on the truck, I don't think it's unreasonably big, right? I don't think it's really that big at all. Okay, it's two flags. They're the perfect size for his truck. I don't see what the problem is. I really don't. I think that if you're going to have a rule limiting the size of a flag that you can put on your vehicle, then it needs to be in relation to the vehicle and whether or not, again, the size of the flag actually poses a threat. Is it actually a hazard? In that situation, it doesn't really seem like it to me, but who knows? Maybe somebody can make an argument that it is. I just think that this is unnecessary, right? I think that he should be allowed to fly it. I lean on that side of this argument, even though I do think that it shouldn't be obnoxiously big, okay? I mean, to the point where, again, it's a safety hazard, but, you know, that's just my opinion. I think that it is very, very, very interesting that they decided to drop out of school. Like, this guy decided to be homeschooled instead of going to school. It does show you how committed he is to freedom of speech and freedom of expression, which I love to see. Okay, I mean, that's a pretty base thing to do, to say, well, if you're not going to allow me to have my First Amendment rights that my ancestors fought for, then I'm just not going to come to this school. Okay, I'm going to be homeschooled. I would rather get homeschooled than to go to a school where I can't exercise my God-given constitutional rights. So again, shout out to this kid for fighting. I mean, seriously, I don't think these flags are too big. I don't think that they pose a safety hazard, and I think he should be allowed to fly them if he wants. But again, I could be missing something here. Okay, I could be overlooking this. Maybe I'm not thinking enough about it. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.